Alright, November 25th here, chart of the day. Sorry I wasn't able to post on Monday, Tuesday due to the start of the Fibonacci Master workshop. But anyways, getting into here, the chart of the day. What I'm talking about is the Euro USD. You can see here I have the 4-hour compression up, and the reason why I'm doing this is a question that came from an email from a fellow trader asking about my analysis on the Euro USD. So what I'm going to do is show my input on it, and basically simply what I was looking at is I'm waiting for this Euro USD to break up above this level right around here so I can see a nice continuation. And you can see here that in these attempts here to make this movement that we never had a retracement and pull back for a continuation. And the same holds true on this movement here. There was no support at retracements and we could not see continuation. And I was waiting for that movement north that was going to have a nice movement, a retracement, and then a continuation, because from there I can set up my analysis and look where to trade. So the most important part of this setup right here is this initial movement that we have in the market. Okay, and I'm going to show why, because from there I can tell the story of the euro and know where it is going. So first off, what I want to do is grab my retracements and shoot my retracements for this movement right here, and make sure that this market did not pass up those retracements, because when the market does pass up the retracements, I do not have interest in the market anymore, because it is showing that it is not dedicated to that movement. So we can see here that this market did respect right in here around a 50% retracement, and then we had the continuation movement in the market. Now what's nice to see here is that the market turned on the Bollinger Band, being the middle band there. Support was also found at the retracements, and the continuation came into play here. So what I need to now do is place my fib expansions, and I need to look for further confirmations in this market. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this movement here on the euro. I shoot my fib expansions, okay, and basically first off what I can see is that this market is resting at that 100% fib expansion. You can see that right there, okay, and I like to play it safe in the market. Many traders may take the opportunity here a lot of times right here to get in on a buy, knowing that it is going to take out the fib expansion in the future. But at these levels on the euro, I want to be extra cautious, because when we see markets attempting to break all-time highs, we do see a big, drastic, volatile market, I should say. So what I'm looking for here, playing it safe as the trader I am, I'm looking for a retracement here to come from this 100% area, 100% fib expansion area in the market. And what I'm going to do is look for a retracement to come off from this point, and then for a continuation. Now before I can even know that I'm going to dedicate, I need to look for confirmation, and I look for confirmation using my fib zone. So what I'm going to do now is pull up my fib zones and apply them to this movement. So let me go here to my indicator. Now as you can see, I have the fib level indicator. I will be adding that to the website so you can download it. Alright, so I've placed my movement, my fib zones on the movement. I'm lining up my base fib zone with it, with the start of the movement right around the 1.48 price level. Let me just give it one click here of compression so I can get them lined up. Now what I'm looking at right here on the pair is a potential overlap coming here at the 377 fib zone with that 161.8 fib expansion, and you can see that right there. Now it's not a perfect overlap, there's just around 15 pips difference in there, okay, and when I have this type of scenario, I usually take, I always take the first level right here, being the 377 fib zone, as my profit target. So the 1.5176 price level would be my profit target on this trade. Now what I've realized over many years of trading is that you may look at many setups and only get a trade or two from time to time. But what we're looking at here is golden opportunities to trade the market. And if we see the follow through of the setup that we're looking at, then we have a high percentage chance for a payout on the trade. So what I'm saying here is that this market, in my opinion, is going to retrace from this 100% fib expansion. We'll see a retracement, and from there on the retracement, once I start seeing price action, I will get in for the payout here to the 377 fib zone, overlapping that 161.8 fib expansion. Remember noting that my 377 fib zone, since it is the first level that creates the overlap, will be my profit target. Now the scenario here that may occur, that we have seen many times, is that this market may never retrace. We may just see this market continue on and take out that level, especially since we're traveling here at all-time highs on the euro and we're testing those. Okay, again, my point is that I want to look for the golden setup here to occur, which is a initial movement followed by a retracement, a confirmation movement, the retracement off that confirmation movement, and then the overall payout to my overlap in the market. All right, so that's what we have, and let's just go ahead and place those areas. Since we're seeing here, respect to that 100% fib expansion, it is a great area for this market to turn and retrace. So let me go ahead and place my new levels of retracements, because I want to prepare for this market's retracement, and if that retracement happens, I will know how to attack the market accordingly. Okay, so now you can see here that we have created the new set of fib retracements, and interestingly enough, just take a look here how we have the 236 fib retracement overlapping that 233 fib zone, and we have the 144 fib zone overlapping the 50% retracement. There are two very strong points of support, and those are going to be the two key areas that I look for the market to turn, because an overlap of a fib zone with a fib retracement gives me a strong area of supported retracement, in this scenario support. Okay, now again, there always is that chance that this market may not respect what I'm talking about here, and it may continue traveling north, and I won't have an opportunity to trade it. That's no problem, but what I'm saying is that if you look for these setups day in, day out, you will get the opportunity to trade them, and those are going to be high percentage payouts. Now, since this Euro USD here is testing new highs, I'm going to be very cautious on entry here, because we do have very volatile markets at these times. So I just wanted to show that there due to the question that was coming up. Now here, let's just go ahead and talk about one more pair that I'm looking at currently, and that is the US CAD. Okay, now here on the USD CAD, what we can see is we have a very nice movement in the 4-hour compression. I usually start my 4-hour analysis because I like to see these types of movements where I have a nice movement, a clear retracement, and the continuation coming on. So first things first, I want to take my retracement and verify that I indeed have a retracement in there. So I'm taking the top here of this movement, okay, to the bottom. And what we can see there is that this market did indeed turn on the retracements. In this scenario here, we can see on the 50%, again, overlapping that Bollinger Band. And we have seen a continuation south on this pair. So now what I need to do is I need to place my fib expansions, taking things one step at a time. All right, now when I'm placing my fib expansions, notice here the same type of thing that we just talked about in the euros happening in an opposite and a downtrend on the USD CAD. Notice how this market made its initial movement, made its retracement, and then made its confirmation movement down to that 100% fib expansion. Okay, so what I'd be looking for here in this market is for a retracement, and then on the retracement look to sell for an area further below, given that we do have an overlap of a fib zone with a fib expansion. So let's go ahead here and pull up my fib zones and apply those. Placing my base point of the fib zone at the 1.0722 price level. Okay, and let me just give it one click here to make sure that we are at the correct levels on our fib zones. And like magic, look what we have happening below here in the market, and that is the 377 fib zone lining up perfectly with that 161.8 fib expansion. So what I'm going to be looking for here in this market is for the retracement off this 100% fib expansion. Once that retracement occurs and I see a continuation south in the market on price action, I will look to enter for this to be my payout down here at the 1.0350 price level. Now just take a note here and look at how beautiful this market respects these fib expansion areas, and how nicely in this point right here we're seeing an overlap of that 161.8 fib expansion with the 377 fib zone. So now what it would be is a weight game. What I want to do is apply my retracement so I can prepare for this to occur. And what you can see in here already is that we're seeing this market potentially turning off of that 23.6 retracement. Just give me a second here so I can apply my retracements, and we'll take a look at that. All right. So you can see right there is that this market took out that 100% fib expansion, made a pop right away to that 23.6 right here. Okay, and we're already seeing this market starting to travel south. Now what I want to do here is I want to look and confirm this on a smaller compression, because I can't really see a lot of data in there. So let's just take this down to a smaller compression. I like to trade off of the 15-minute and the 5-minute for my entries from time to time, using the 30-minute and the 1-hour chart. Okay, now right here what you can see is that this market is showing us right away signs that it's turning off of this 23.6 area with the top Bollinger Band creating the resistance, and we are now seeing this market continue to travel south. Okay, now due to the time in the market right here, we're looking at around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the trading day. I'm not going to be very aggressive here on an entry. Okay, and basically for me, the best part here to enter in this market is once I see a break below this 100% fib expansion. Then for me, it would be a nice ride here south to that 1.0350 price level, which gives you just over 100 pips in this area right here for profit. And again, if this doesn't pay out, it doesn't pay out. But what I'm saying is that we have identified in here a 100 pip area in the market that we know is going to be a high percentage chance that the market is going to pay out. So that's what we have today for the chart of the day. Thanks for joining us once again. For all of those tomorrow celebrating the Thanksgiving holiday, have a happy Thanksgiving. We will see you again very soon. Until then, take care, happy trading, and happy Thanksgiving.